welcome back to the deep dive. As HR pros, one of the biggest things we're all dealing with is, well, how do you keep your team's skills up to date?
Oh, absolutely. The world of work is changing so fast.
It's insane. And those old school training methods, they just aren't cutting it.
Nope, not even close.
But there's hope.
This LinkedIn article we're diving into today has a solution, something called Learning Experience Platforms, LXPs.
LXPs, yeah, they sound kind of futuristic.
Right, like straight out of Star Trek. But trust me, this is big. This is going to get really interesting.
Oh, absolutely. The way we approach learning and development, it needs a serious upgrade. And LXPs could be it.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What makes an LXP different from those old learning management systems, the LMSs?
It's like, think of an LMS as this giant warehouse, right? It's packed with information.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It's all there, but good luck actually finding what you need.
Yeah, it can be a nightmare to navigate those things. Yeah. Exactly. Now an LXP, it's like having this super smart search engine that actually curates a learning path just for you.
So instead of just giving everyone the same old course catalog, it's tailoring the learning experience to each person.
Exactly. It looks at your role, the skills you need, even your career goals within the company.
So it's like a roadmap, but for your learning journey.
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds amazing in theory, but does it actually work in the real world?
Oh, it definitely does. The article gives some awesome examples. Like Pfizer, they actually cut their onboarding time by 30% after using an LXP.
30%? Seriously?
Yeah, and their managers could even see everyone's progress in real time. Talk about efficiency.
That's incredible. But how did they do it? Was it specific LXP features, the content? What was it?
Well, it's kind of fascinating. Pfizer actually used what's called microlearning, right?
Okay, break that down for me.
So they took all that onboarding info and they chunked it up into these bite-sized pieces. So much easier for new hires to handle.
So it's not just faster, it's smarter.
Precisely. Plus, they used those personalized learning paths we talked about, made sure everyone got the right training for their specific job.
Makes sense. So it sounds like AI is a big part of this.
Huge.
Can you walk me through how it actually personalizes the learning? It really is that intelligent.
Oh, it is. The AI in these LXPs, they're constantly learning and evolving.
Yeah.
So it's watching how people use the platform, what they click on, how long they actually engage with content.
So it's gathering all this data to make the recommendations even better.
Yep. Suggest resources you might never even know about otherwise.
Wow. It really is like a personal learning assistant.
That's a great way to put it. And you know what? It solves one of the biggest training problems out there, information overload.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. You're not bombarded with tons of useless stuff. It guides you toward what actually matters.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah.
How do companies actually implement LXPs? Is it a smooth transition, or are there, bumps along the way?
Well, you definitely got to plan it out, but a lot of LXPs integrate really well with those HR platforms you're already using.
Okay, so no data silos. That's always a good thing.
For sure.
Now, what about the cost? Switching over to a new platform like this, that could be a pretty big investment.
It's true. There's an upfront cost. But think of it this way. It's an investment. It pays off big time.
You're talking about things like higher productivity, less turnover.
Exactly. A skilled workforce. That's what it's all about.
It's because, let's face it, the cost of bad training, that can be even worse.
Lost productivity, high turnover, always having to rehire and retrain people. It's a nightmare.
So we've talked about the difference between LXPs and LMSs and the power of that personalized learning AI and even the practical side of implementing all this.
Yeah, a lot to unpack.
And it's obvious that LXPs, they can be a huge asset for HR.
Totally agree. They can solve some of our biggest challenges right now.
Yeah.
Skill gaps, keeping people happy and on board, all of it.
But before we go on to real-world examples, let's take a step back. Think about what this means for the future of work.
That's a great point. We've focused on the practical stuff, but this is about something bigger.
It's about turning learning and development from a chore into an actual opportunity.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. When learning becomes engaging, personalized, easy to access, it creates this whole mindset of growth.
And that's good for everybody. Employees, companies, the whole workforce.
Absolutely. It's a win-win-win.
So we've got a lot more to explore about how companies are using LXPs to get amazing results. But first, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll dive into some real-life case studies. Stay with us.
Definitely. Can't wait. All right, so let's jump into some of these examples. You know that Pfizer case? That was impressive.
I know, right? 30% faster onboarding, that's a game changer.
Seriously. And the article talks about Accenture, too. They needed to, like, massively upskill their people, especially in areas like data science, leadership, too.
Yeah, consulting, it's fast-paced. You got to be learning constantly to stay ahead.
Absolutely. So they started using this LXP called EdCast. And it's made a huge difference. Employees can make their own personalized learning paths now, and the AI recommends stuff along the way.
So it's not just about, like, keeping up with the competition. It's about helping people become experts.
You got it. And it goes back to what we were saying before about building that whole culture of, continuous improvement.
When people have the tools to learn on their own terms, it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's not a chore anymore. It's about investing in themselves.
Exactly. And the cool thing about LXPs is they can, like, adapt to different needs. The article mentioned this telecom company. They were global, had people all over the place.
Oh, yeah. That's a challenge for so many companies now. Time zones, languages, it's a lot.
It is. So they went with an LXP that was very user-driven, let people pick their own content. They even tied it in with LinkedIn Learning.
So employees had more control over what they learned, how they learned it.
Totally. And the LXP's AI, it kept recommending stuff to keep them engaged.
Love that. Meet people where they are, let them shape their own journey. Now, I know all this sounds amazing, but I'm sure there are challenges, right? Switching from an LMS to an LXP can't be that easy.
You're right. The article does mention a few things, like, well, the cost, obviously, and then managing the change. And, of course, data privacy. That's a big one these days.
Yeah, let's break those down. First, the cost. Implementing a new system, that's never cheap, especially for smaller companies with limited budgets.
True, but it's about seeing it as an investment. In the long run, you save money, more productivity, less turnover, all that.
It's a long-term game.
Exactly. Then there's the change management piece. People don't always like new systems, right? It's human nature.
You need a solid plan to get everyone on board.
Absolutely. Communication is key. Tell people why it's good, involve them in the process, make sure they get the training they need.
It's about making sure everyone feels heard. Okay, and what about data privacy? LXPs use a lot of data to make that personalized experience.
Right, that's a big one. Transparency is key. Companies have to be upfront about what data they're using and how, and they have to give people a choice, to opt out if they want.
Sounds like a balancing act. But done right, the benefits seem to outweigh the challenges.
I think so too. LXPs can change everything about learning and development, make a workforce that's more engaged, more skilled, ready for the future.
Speaking of the future, this article talked about what's coming next for LXPs. And wow, it's pretty mind-blowing. Virtual reality, predictive analytics, it's wild.
Right, straight out of science fiction. But this stuff is coming sooner than we think. And it could change everything.
Imagine doctors practicing surgery in VR before doing the real thing. Or engineers designing buildings in a virtual world. The possibilities are endless.
And think about predictive analytics. HR could see skill gaps before they even happen. It would totally change workforce planning.
It's like having a crystal ball for your employees.
And the article talked about LXPs becoming more than just for learning. They're becoming whole talent management systems.
I could see that. Learning, career growth, performance, it's all connected.
Imagine an LXP that recommends learning content, but it also, connects you with mentors, coaches, even internal job postings.
It's like, your own career guide, helping you reach your full potential.
And for HR, it could streamline everything. Recruiting, succession planning, the possibilities are huge.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. But one thing's for sure, LXPs, they're a total shift in how we do learning and development.
No doubt about it. It's moving away from, just checking boxes. It's about creating a culture of continuous learning. Employees taking charge, companies adapting to change.
And for HR professionals, it's a powerful way to attract talent, keep people, develop their skills, build a workforce ready for anything.
But before we wrap up, what's your final thought? What do you want our listeners to take away?
If I had to boil it down, it's this. LXPs, they're not just a trend. This is a fundamental change. And for HR, embracing this change, it could be the key to unlocking your workforce's full potential. Yeah, it's wild. It's like we're on the edge of something totally new. And it's more than just, fancy VR and AI.
Oh, definitely. The article even talked about how LXPs are becoming these full-blown talent management systems.
Makes sense, right? Learning and development, they're tied to everything. Career growth, performance, even how happy someone is at work.
Exactly. Imagine an LXP that doesn't just tell you what courses to take, but it actually connects you with mentors in the company or
Yeah.
coaches, even shows you job openings that fit your skills.
It's like your own personal career coach,
Yeah.
but powered by AI.
Yeah. And for HR, it could streamline a ton of things. Hiring, planning who's going to take over roles down the line. It's pretty exciting.
It is. So we've gone deep into the world of LXPs. What's the one thing you want our listeners, all those HR folks out there, what do you want them to walk away with?
I think the biggest thing is LXPs, they're not just a fad. This is a real shift in how we think about learning at work. It's about giving employees the power to learn and grow and making sure companies can adapt to whatever's coming next.
And for HR, this could be the key, right? To attracting the best people, keeping them happy, and helping them build the skills they need to succeed.
Absolutely. It's about creating a workforce that's engaged, skilled, and ready for anything.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So, to everyone listening, if this has sparked your curiosity about LXPs, check out the resources we've got in the show notes. This is just the beginning, and we can't wait to see how LXPs change the future of work. Until next time, keep diving deep.